Hi everyone, it's David with High Performance Stoicism. Today I want to talk to you about perspective steps. This is a special process I've devised using Stoicism to help you to better deal with an unwanted situation, something we would normally consider a negative situation, a setback. The way I've described the process of practicing Stoicism is one of perspective shaping. Yes, we are changing our soul to move toward virtue, and in the process of doing so, our perspective in many ways is capturing reality better and better. So let's think of a situation that you might be dealing with, one that most people would say it's a negative thing. You just got dumped from a relationship. You were cut from a sports team. You were fired. What is perspective shape? What are the perspective steps that I think will help you to deal with that situation? Now, a friend of yours, when they find out what has happened to you, and especially if you're complaining about it a lot, maybe you're getting excited about it, they think you're almost hysterical, they will say, just try to get some perspective. And they would be right. But I think it helps to think about this quite deliberately and systematically. So pick one of these situations and, okay, you've been told you've been fired. So perspective step number one is intertemporal. So right now you feel crushed. You're overwhelmed with negative emotions. But think back until a time when you were feeling better. It could be last week. It could be just yesterday. And how did you feel then? How did life look then? So you know that's possible. And go also into the future and think about, could I be in such a state that I was in the other day, last week, and maybe have it be even better? And you can imagine that. And then from that intertemporal perspective of past, present, future, the present will seem a little better. Step two, perspective step two. Third person, someone else looking at you. So now imagine another person is looking at your situation now. You got fired. That's tough, but they also see that last week you were confident. You were having a good time. You were active. You were proactive. And they also can see, well, you've done that before. It wasn't too long ago. And then a week or two from now, or even 2 days from now, if you take the right path, you can be in that situation again. If you make 100 phone calls, 100 emails, you could get a new job. And someone who's not enmeshed in the situation can see that pretty easily. So that's perspective step two. Perspective step three, taking that intertemporal slice of a week ago, today, and a week from now go for step three, worldwide. Look at everything else that's happening in the world, and I don't think you will have to go too far in your imagination to see that there are people in a much worse situation than you. And in fact, you can find people that their whole lives have been, compared to your life, very, very miserable. And it's a very sad thing. But you just want to see, okay, in relation to what I'm going through right now, what is their situation? And then think about how that will change your perspective. Let's go a step further with the time issue, and now think of the whole of world history. Look at world wars. Look at famines. Look at plagues. Look at genocide. There's a lot of material there to see, okay, your situation isn't that bad compared to that, and I think that will give you some perspective. Now, number 5, let's go to another level and think about what I call an A-class perspective. So we have world history in view, and what's the A-class perspective? Those are aliens that are more intelligent than us or angels. You pick your much more intelligent being. They're watching the whole thing. They're seeing your current situation. They're looking at world history. How bad is your situation now? And then let's go back in history a little more for the next step, 6, and the whole. Let's talk about the history of the universe. In that whole vast expanse of time, with all the things that have lived, all the things that have happened, all the galaxies that are formed, how big a deal is what you're going through? And lastly, number 7, this is the biggest one of all, and it's the Zeus perspective. What is the God's eye perspective of the whole thing? And then you'll see, okay, yes, being fired is not fun. It was a gut punch. But seeing it from the God's eye view, and in light of the whole of the history of the universe, it is quite an insignificant thing. And I'm very close to it, so that's why it's seeming like the end of the world, and it's actually not. So those are my perspective steps. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, check out what I do below, and then I'll see you in the next High Performance Stoicism video.